Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is Ship Updates. Now, first off, we've got a whole bunch of news with the release of Alpha 2.5. We've got a bunch of stuff to show you. We got prices for the Argo. We've got the Reliant, obviously Flyable, and a whole bunch of other stuff, so let's get started. Now, of course, the big news in Alpha 2.5 is, of course, the Flyable Reliant. A lot of people have been looking forward to this ship. I was able to play around with it a little bit. I'm going to kind of go into more depth as to my impressions of the Reliant core, or the base version of the Reliant, on the Piracy Show on Monday. But suffice it to say, it handles pretty nicely. I have enjoyed it so far, but I need a little more time to play around with it before I really kind of give my opinion on the ship overall. Now, of course, with the Reliant being flight ready, that means there's going to be a flight ready sale. And so for those of you who want to pick up a Reliant, once the Argo comes out as well, and these two should coincide because the Argo's going on sale with 2.5. That's a ship with LTI, so you can always pick up an Argo and then CCU it to a Reliant, and therefore get yourself an LTI Reliant with the release of 2.5, which is supposed to happen, according to Chris Roberts, probably next week, which all in all, it's probably all going to coincide with Gamescom. So have your money ready. Now, how much is an Argo going to cost you? Well, the personnel transport version on the top left will cost you $40. The cargo version on the top right will cost you $35, or there's going to be a special package deal that will cost $70, which gets you both ships. So all of that, of course, is going to coincide with the release of 2.5, but the prices are out, so chances are at some point next week, once again, to coincide with Gamescom, is the most likely outcome. However, for these relatively low prices, chances are most people who are going to buy them are probably going to buy them because they're an LTI chit. I mean, realistically, these ships, you have to remember, don't have quantum drives, so no weapons either. Not much you can do with them, and as far as I've seen, no one's really been able to make use of them with a Starfarer. They just kind of don't really quite fit in with the catwalk into the cargo bay, and even if you could fit them in the cargo bay, I mean, you'd be losing all that space for cargo to park a ship in there. So probably not going to end up being the most useful ship, but in a way it can be if you're going to use it to get the LTI ship of your choice, either now or in the future, as more ships become available, with future sales being, once again, obviously a Gamescom sale and possible other ships that might be available at Gamescom, or the CitizenCon sale or the anniversary sale in November. So those are things to look forward to, and a reason why you might want to pick up an Argo even if you really don't have a use for it now. Now, also included in Alpha 2.5 is, of course, Grim Hex, the pirate landing area. Now, I've had a chance to kind of mess around with it, but I really want to kind of go dig around more in depth, and having only just gotten access to the 2.5 Alpha, I want a little bit more time to explore it before I start talking about it. But just quickly, from some of the things I've seen in the shops, it is definitely a criminal hideout. It looks really great and really detailed, and I was hugely impressed with this release. Now, usually when you're playing an alpha, or like one of these PTU alphas, it's kind of not, it doesn't perform that well. But one of the things that I can say about it is that I was very struck by how well this alpha client performed and just how smoothly it ran. Now, I don't have the technical expertise to give a full explanation of that, but I was very, very impressed. It was much, the frame rates were much smoother than the actual public client. It was I was hugely impressed. But I'm going to go into more detail once again on the Piracy Show on Monday. And I'm just going to try to stick to mostly the ship updates in this show, which leads me, of course, to our next topic, which is the Hornet F7A. Now, Chris Smith was showing this off on ATV on Thursday, and the ship looks amazing. This is, of course, the full military latest version of the Hornet Mark II. Now, the versions that we currently have in hangar, of course, the Hornet Mark I series. Now, those are going to get a revamp, though obviously not to this degree. But if you do have one of the old kits, the body kits to make the Hornet F7 or the Mark I look like, I guess now the Mark II, you will be able to attach this look to your Hornet. Now, I have to say that the work on this was hugely impressive, and of course there was also talk about the cockpit. One of the things he was talking about was, of course, increasing the viewable area or decreasing the obstructions in a pilot's, field of view in regards to the cockpit, and giving a pilot, a much more open look at the space around him. And you'll know that, like, Chris Smith, who also worked on the M50, the Mustang series, and the 300, all of which have, excellent, field of vision for the pilot, looking beyond the control panels and out into space. And so, I mean, so far it looks absolutely amazing. And I mean, I really wasn't expecting all that much from the F7A, but this really blew me away. That was really, really striking. And definitely, if you haven't watched Around the Verse, the Chris Smith segment is well worth the watch if you want to see what the Hornet is going to look like in the future. Now, sadly, absent from the 2.5 is, of course, the Caterpillar. A lot of people, myself included, were hoping, fingers crossed, that the Caterpillar was going to make it hangar ready for this release. Unfortunately, it's not here. But given the information that we got recently having to do with the redesign of the cockpit on the Caterpillar, it's to be expected. Hopefully, in a future release, we will see the Caterpillar, but chances are probably not now, until October at the very latest. Maybe it'll be something we'll see in Citizen Con. But yeah, no Caterpillar and no hangar ready Herald in this release. But still, there was a lot of really great stuff. I want to play around with it more, kind of look at things a little bit more in depth. But as for right now, in terms of facts, that's all I really got for this show this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.